We are talking trades, and in this video, I'm going to give you 3 trades the Detroit Lions potentially could do in this year's draft. Why? Because when I did the One Pride podcast yesterday, a lot of people wanted to know what it would look like if the Lions were trade out of pick 6. So in this, I did multiple trades with multiple teams through different parts of this year's draft. But before we get into today's video, if you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, if you're a fan of the NFL, football, prospects, the draft, and free agency, then you need to subscribe to the channel. Why? Because if you're watching this, you might as well subscribe. Because why the hell not? Without further ado, let's get this thing going. Do me a big favor and smash that like button. The more likes we get, the more chance the video gets thrown out there. Real quick, hit that like button. So look, we're going to get into trades. And these trades are with different teams and multiple parts of the draft, not just in the top 10, but it's going to be a little bit different here. What would the compensation look like if you were to trade a little bit farther maybe in one of the scenarios than you like? And we'll see what the players and prospects would be potentially that the Lions could acquire if they do move back. Right now, here are the Detroit Lions draft picks. 2 first-round picks, picks 6 and 18, 2 second-round picks, picks 48 and 59, 1 third-round pick, 81, 1 fifth-round pick, 149, and 2 sixth-rounds, 169 and 180. Should the Detroit Lions trade pick 6? I want you to be the general manager. You be in control of this franchise. Let me know in the comment section. Put T for trade or put P for pass. Let me know what the Lions should do at pick 6. Let's go ahead and get into the first trade idea here. Now, you've heard me talk about this trade idea on my channel with the Carolina Panthers. Ideal because Carolina wants to get a quarterback. And guess what? One potentially could fall at the 6 picks, and the Panthers are desperate. They need to get a guy. Their fan base is going to riot. So in this trade scenario, the Detroit Lions move from pick 6, and they go to pick 9. They get the second-round pick, 40th overall, and a third-round pick in 2024. So what would the selections look like, or potential prospects, at pick 9? Well, it's very similar to pick 6. Tyree Wilson probably would be there. A very talented guy. He's got all the physical attributes, flying up draft boards as recently. And I'm going to assume after the NFL Combine, when he shows his athleticism and his freak ability, he's going to go up there and kind of solidify himself as a high riser, a guy who's got that high ceiling. How about Devin Witherspoon? A very good cornerback. He's now becoming CB1 on many draft boards. And for the Detroit Lions, he fits the culture and the system. Why? He loves to smash and hit, and he loves to pound people. That's what the Lions need, a physical guy. A guy who's going to take your kneecap and bite at it. He fits Dan Campbell. He fits the system. And if you know Brad Holmes, he selects players that fit the culture that Detroit Lion is trying to build in here. Physicality is one of those. So he would be available probably at pick 9. And Myles Murphy. Now this one's a little bit of a reach. I do think he potentially could be there at pick 9. I've seen some mock drafts where he does fall a little bit. He potentially could be there. He's my edge number 2. Very good player. He's good at stopping the run, good getting after the quarterback. I think he'd be a fantastic pairing with Aiden Hutchinson. And Mel Kiper agrees with me. He says Murphy has a quick burst out of his stance and can lose quickly off the corner. He also plays the run very well, and he's physical at the point of attack. He had 11 sacks in his first 2 seasons. Clemson had 5.5 this season. He moves inside the tackle at times, and he's versatile. Will help his stock for NFL teams. I wrote September. Kiper says, I want to see his sack production rise before moving it up. And he did just that. 4 sacks in the past 4 games. So that is very good for Myles Murphy, and he may not be there, but it gives you an idea. What does this show you? It shows you that the players at pick 6 potentially would be there at pick 9. Why is that? Because the teams in between generally need a quarterback or an offensive lineman. What the Lions don't need is a quarterback and an offensive lineman. We're looking at defensive linemen and corners. And that's exactly what the Lions would be having right there. So I think the Lions, if they have an opportunity to move back, that would be ideal. You know what would also be ideal is going to chatsports.com/LionsBet. Put in the promo code LIONS125 and you will get a 125% deposit bonus to make a little bit of money, folks, a little bit of cheddar cheese. And we got this game coming up called the Super Bowl here in little over a week. And the Eagles are favored by 1 point, and the over and under is 49.5. So I'm going to give you my idea. I think the Eagles will score more than that, a little bit more than just 1 point. And I think the over and under will be more because both these teams' offenses are freaking off the chain. So if you bet on that, you can make some money. Who do you guys have the Detroit Lions taking if they stay at 6 or if they move back with their first pick? I want you to tell me who you select with that draft pick. Put a name in the comment section below. Let's go into my second trade idea, and this is with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Atlanta's sitting at pick 8, and you're going to wonder why. Why do you get more from the Atlanta Falcons in a trade than you would with the Carolina Panthers? Well, their second-round pick is actually farther down. So, in this scenario, the Detroit Lions get pick 8. They get the second-round pick, that's pick 45, and a second-round pick in 2024 because it is a pick that's farther back in the second round. Now, we talked about who we could get at pick 9, it'd be the same pick 8. So let's talk about players who you can get at pick 45 with that second-round pick. How about Emmanuel Forbes? Talk about the best nickel corner in this year's draft. Say you go corner at 18, you want to get even a better one who can play the nickel. Emmanuel Forbes is that guy. And again, he's a physical guy that loves to tackle and hit. We're seeing a trend here with players, right? A guy that likes to be physical. Dan Campbell type of guy. He could potentially be there at pick 45. How about Drew Sanders, linebacker out of Arkansas? A lot of people's LB2 or LB3. Very good linebacker, sideline to sideline. He would stop the tight end from killing us. And finally, I think, give the Lions a breath of fresh air at the linebacker position and stop people like me complaining about it. He could be an option there. Noah Sewell definitely could be an option. Again, I have Drew Sanders ahead of him, but maybe he's gone. Noah Sewell could be an option at linebacker. Again, having that problem that we've been dealing with for many years get solved with the young player. Team them up with Malcolm Rodriguez and Derek Barnes, and we have a young combination of beautiful linebackers. And you also got to talk about the potential Detroit Lions here. What if they don't want to select that player with that selection, but you have another draft pick? You can move up in this year's draft, maybe late the first round, to select a player who you covet. You get a pick in next year's draft that you can work with as well. So to me, it's a very good trade, and the options are there for the Detroit Lions potentially to get this type of capital. Here is my third trade idea. It's a little bit different from the other two. We're talking about trading with the Washington Commanders here. Now, Washington Commanders, we're talking about they pick 16. So we're falling off a little bit. So in this scenario, the Detroit Lions move from 6 to 16. The Washington Commanders get also pick 82 in 2023. But the Detroit Lions, they get the first round pick 16, second round pick 47, and a first round pick in next year's draft. A lot of draft capital. I think this is a good compensation. The Detroit Lions get a good player, 2 good players in this year's draft, and they have a first round pick next year. And if you know the Washington Commanders, they'll probably be about the same next year. So what are the options at pick 16? What are targets the Detroit Lions could have at that selection? How about Christian Gonzalez, cornerback out of Oregon? He's been mocked to the Detroit Lions multiple times. Very good corner. Again, when you talk about the top 3 corners, they're all a cornerback 1, 2, or 3. Kind of flip them around. 6'2", big body, loves to get turnovers. A great option for the Detroit Lions at pick 16. Trenton Simpson, a guy who I covet. He would definitely be an option at pick 16. He's the best linebacker in this year's draft. Sideline to sideline, physical. He would change his defense for the positive, help stop the run. Every down linebacker, in my opinion, would be a great option for Detroit. Fix the LB position. He would do that. Another option here, now he would be available at 16, maybe a little bit later, is Lukas Van Ness, the edge rusher out of Iowa. You know, get your edge rusher that you're potentially going to get at 6. You get one at 16. That could be an option. Then at pick 18, you go cornerback right there, and then or linebacker, and then with the other second-round pick, you can fix the corner linebacker position right there. So those are options for the Detroit Lions. There's many other players you can go as well, as you know, in the NFL draft. I just gave you 3. Name a player the Lions should draft. It doesn't necessarily have to be a first-round pick, but name a player you want them to select in this year's draft. Could be a 6th-round pick. Could be a kicker. We hear all that all the time. Let me know a player you want the Detroit Lions to pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Folks, in the upcoming videos, got a video dropping tomorrow. Get ready for that good video where we're going to get into some questions from you guys. And that's what it's all about, right? Answering your guys' questions, and I love doing that because that's what this channel is all about. It's for you. So get ready for that. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest news and rumors regarding our Detroit Lions. Adios.